Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the 80-60 Rule. I'm Mark, and I'm 60, and this over here is George Santos.
How you doing? How you doing, everybody? Please, George Santos, please. Everything I say is true. How are you, everybody? I'm Greg, and I'm 80. So thank you for tuning in. Let's see a couple of people that we lost this past week. I remember her, not any of her movies, but I just remember how she looked. Gina Lollobrigida.
Yeah, wow.
And as an Italian, I
How
said,
old
boy,
was she?
She was 95.
So she was like the pinup girl of like the 50s. Is that right, or what?
I can't remember, but I remember. I mean, she had a movie in 1953. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember her always being the bombshell, like
Yeah,
like the not the bombshell, like the exotic sort of
yeah.
like that
Her and
Italian.
Sophia Loren.
Yeah, right.
But I respected Sophia Loren. I still do, because her husband was Carlos Ponte, who was about maybe 50 years older than her.
Oh,
It
okay.
shows how two people can be in love at that far of the ages.
Yeah,
Right?
it doesn't hurt when the other one is Sophia Loren, though. Also, right?
No, you're right. Right.
When who was let's see, how about this? When you were in your formidable years, like your teenage years, when you first started like kind of noticing stuff, who was the like the movie star that you went like, whoa, like, oh boy?
Uh, off the top, I remember Anne Margaret.
Yeah, Anne Margaret. Yeah, a little bit Anne Margaret with all the Elvis movies. Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
it's like
definitely.
one of my friends from the Chicago area. He went to high school with Anne Margaret. I think he
Oh,
dated her once. So that was the
oh,
big
okay.
thing. He and I dated Anne Margaret. You know, and um,
Yeah, Anne Margaret. She's
I
still
can't
around.
remember other like some.
Well, I remember for me it was Raquel Welch. That's the one who would be like she'd be on the TV shows and it'd be like, he's just a kid, and I'd go like, oh my God, look at
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Raquel Welch. She had 1 million BC or something like that. That's the one that I
yeah,
remember. So
yeah. Another one that we should probably and Mark, you probably know more than this than me than I. I know Mr. Tambourine Man and turn to David Crosby.
yeah, David Crosby, Stills Nash and Young.
Right.
Just a fantastic voice, a huge talent. Yeah, he was and a great counterculture guy. Yeah.
He had a lot of problems. I read in his biography.
Oh yeah, big
Yeah,
time drug
hepatitis, drugs, this and that, and all that.
Yeah,
Shit.
but I would say like a good chunk of his life, probably the last 30 years, clean and sober. To live to 81 like he did was kind of a miracle because there was plenty of times where people counted him out. Another one was that passed away, big rock icon Jeff Beck. I don't know if you're familiar with Jeff Beck.
No.
No, okay. But just I don't know, not a virtuoso, but just I guess you would call it, because I don't even know how you use that word appropriately, but just they call it guitar god. This guy was really, really good, going way back, and then still was active, playing gigs and stuff just the last few months. So Jeff Beck from England.
Yeah, what surprises me too is sometimes I get missed names and people still remember those names. Oh, whoa. Like Sophia Loren, she's still alive.
I think she is. I think
she is. Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're in the last few weeks or months, there's been this, well, actually since COVID, there's been this thing where a celebrity will pass away and then I'll go like, wow, I hadn't thought of them in like 25 years.
Yeah.
And in my mind, their age was frozen in time. And I'm always surprised to kind of hear how old they are or were when they passed away.
And it's interesting how they're still how famous somebody was, and if they're not in the news anymore, they could be your down the street neighbor. You don't even know that.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about sports, huh, Mark?
Okay. Big weekend.
Yeah, we got a big weekend. We got to would be remiss if we didn't do that. Uh, Jaguars, Chiefs. Who do you pick?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Okay, me too.
Okay.
Eagles, Giants. Who do you pick?
Eagles.
Eagles. I think Eagles. I'm not. Well, how about the 49ers, Cowboys?
I'm gonna say 49ers because of their defense. That's all.
Me
You
too.
know, I mean, that should be a really good game, but just the defense is pretty good. So
Yeah. Which gets me that game. It's interesting. They hyped Dallas last week because they beat Tampa Bay, which was not a big deal. How about the week before? They were terrible. So you never know what Dallas you're getting.
right, and
How
that's
about
yeah.
about Cincinnati and Buffalo?
You know what? Probably Buffalo, but Cincinnati's kind of my sleeper team. But I'm gonna say Buffalo
I'm going to say, I would say Cincinnati, but I'm going to say Buffalo too.
thing though.
And then let me ask you, you're Tom Brady. You played the Tampa.
Hold on a second. Giselle, I can't talk right now. Greg's
Okay.
Greg's talking to me. Okay, fine.
You're Tom Brady.
Yep,
What do you do?
higher.
Retire?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And is it my ego, Mark? I would be mad. I would be upset that the last thing people are going to remember me is that, like, I didn't do it. I didn't have a good game at all.
Yeah, I mean, this year that's what they'll remember. But Hall of Fame speech, nobody's going to remember this year.
Right.
So if you think of Peyton Manning, right? Change teams. Favre, Favre. We remember it in the moment, but I don't think Willie Mays. Remember Willie Mays went from the Giants to the New York Mets.
Yeah.
Right, and he could barely punch a ball to right field. Like on an outside pitch. So nobody really remembers that. They remember Say Hey from the New York Giants in San Francisco. So in the moment we remember it, but then the legacy is there.
That's a very good point. I would
Of
yeah.
I don't watch
heck of a lot of TV sometimes, but I do like the show. I watched it last night. It was 2020, where they had a guy from Elmira, New York. He was a hockey player. He was a really hockey player that didn't go anywhere. He was the guy. He was like the Brad Pitt of Elmira or something, with the George Clooney type.
Oh, okay.
Marries this woman, 2 kids. He gets a worker of his, pays him $10,000, and he kills his wife. Kills his wife, and to burn down the house, a house, and even his kids for the money. I mean, what? I don't understand people. What do you think? Like, you're not going to get caught?
Right. I know. That's when during the pandemic, I think we watched just about every Dateline ever made in the history of Datelines, and it's always that sort of this quiet town or this quiet neighborhood, this quiet cul-de-sac, and then that guy is going to, or that woman is going to off his spouse, and then try to cover his tracks, and it's always cell phone data, the pings of the cell phone.
That's how they did it. So unbelievable. Like, what are you thinking? What do you think?
Right. Or another one is text messages. They'll, or Google searches. That's one that's, how to dispose of a body. You Google it 20 times. It's like, okay, that's going to show up on their forensics investigation. Another one is they check the lint trap in the dryer to see if there's any traces of blood on the fabrics from the lint dryer.
That's what they did. Did
they do that one? Yeah, it's like you're gonna get caught. So
I mean, if I was going to do something, I would have a plane ready.
Careful
to go to Europe. I'm
done. Oh, okay. All right.
How we doing on time, Mark?
All right, but I want to talk about George Santos. What do you got to say
Okay.
about him?
George Santos, an excellent article on George Santos from Peter King who used to be a Republican from New York, and about people getting. In my experience, you can't get anything done in the House without the trust of your colleagues.
Yeah,
And I'll say that with everything, not just the House, in your work situation. If they don't trust you, you're
right.
not trusted.
Yeah,
Uh, no, uh, you
yeah.
gotta have trust.
He's a big liar, and he's of the times because this wouldn't have flown 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
No,
He would have been out right away. But because we've kind of like dumbed down the
bar has been lowered.
yeah, the bar's been lowered in terms of like, because I read where a roommate of his, I just read it yesterday, a roommate of his said, yeah, I want to get elected to Congress. That way I've got a pension and insurance for the rest of my life. So it kind of makes sense when you hear that, if this guy's going to do anything he can to serve that one term, and then he's got that pension for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Scum. Yeah.
Yeah. Every
Liar. And it's like, hold him accountable. This is not that complicated. Tell the guy he's got to resign, you know, you know.
yeah.
So, or the
Now
ethics thing, the money is gonna, when we were talking about the mafia guy, 30, that's or the guy in Mexico that you mentioned, Santos, it's gonna be the money coming back to bite him because that's
yeah.
big time serious stuff there. He's gonna be in trouble. Yeah. Whatever his name is. And whatever wig he's wearing or whatever, he's in trouble.
Now you tell me. I remember something just flashed to me when I did something years ago when I was in graduate school. There was a classmate. I thought she was terrible. She'd have her like stuff together. I think she had a lot of drinking problems or all that. And I made a comment to an instructor. I believe to an instructor. And she better not get the same degree I'm getting. It's a farce. And I meant it.
That's beautiful.
It cheapens my degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want my degree to be cheapened.
Yeah.
She was
So
cheapening my degree.
your point is, I got this congressman next to me who's a big liar. He's cheapening the whole body here.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
never forget that.
Yeah.
And I said, like, she gets his head. In fact, I remember I said, you can dump my degree down the toilet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, because it's like she would be on the phone with somebody for 3 hours. What is this?
Yeah.
Now maybe I didn't understand mental illness or whatever, but come on.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah, I get your point.
This why I try and be compassionate. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know. But it was like she's got the same degree I'm getting, and people are going to say she went to what school did you go to? Oh, you mean with that person? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but think of Santos. Santos has got none of that, but he's saying he does. So I don't know how that guy walks down. Like I told you when we first started talking about this, one look at that guy, I knew he was shady. You could just kind of tell. But anyway, we should probably wrap this up, okay?
All right. Mark, it's
Okay.
been an excellent conversation.
All right. Yeah, really nice talking to you.
Things I start remembering.
Yeah, and then what'd you just say?
Things I recall. All of a sudden, I recall things that happened. I've been out of school since 71.
Yeah, I did like that. How you said when you said, back in graduate school, I was thinking like, wow, he remembers this particular woman. So
I remember because she was like, whoa, what is she saying? What is she going on?
Yeah.
Like, I'm working hard and this, and then people are going to say, you went to that school? You know?
You do know that nobody ever said that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever judged you because of her, but in the moment we're thinking.
But in the moment, I was thinking something however, on the other hand, you got some people that are in the Senate that are Yale graduates, and you go, he went to Yale,
right? Yeah, that happens. That happens quite a bit. All right, let's say goodbye, but let's thank everybody for watching. Please
Thank you.
subscribe.
Thank you, everybody.
All
Thank
right.
you for thinking. We enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed as much as we do, but we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we do. So, Greg, my favorite person to talk to. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Take care.